Hey, everybody. I'm David Bloom, your co-host of this here podcast with my Next TMT co-founder, Daniel Frankel, talking in a new format with Media Play News, our partners, focused on some of the doings in the media space. Today's conversation is focused on some surprising news out of the Motion Picture Academy, which hands out the Oscars. They have agreed with YouTube and YouTube TV, Alphabet's little video operation that's probably worth 31 billion, 36, I think it's 36 billion in advertising a year. They have agreed to carry the Oscar telecast and other year-round programming from the Motion Picture Academy beginning in 2029. And this is a big shift. It has been on ABC and for most of recent years, and now it will be on streaming and on YouTube TV, which has not spent a lot of money on original rights. So that is also a very interesting deal. What's your think on all of this, Daniel?
Well, it's YouTube and YouTube TV, correct?
Yes.
Well, I mean, initially I think YouTube has made, as we've covered extensively, a lot of strides in terms of the living room. That's where most of it's consumed now.
10 million
connected
subs
TV.
now, something like that, even after the Disney fight. It's really interesting. They took this away from ABC, owned by Disney, right after that big fight, right?
But it's not, is it as universally available at this point as ABC? That's the question.
Well, it'll be more universally available worldwide, which may matter to the Academy. ABC, last I looked, is not available even in England, never mind another 200 or so territories around the globe. All of a sudden, this becomes a global event and the opportunity for films as they try to become more international. I mean, you look at, they've got more international members of the Academy. They've got more, they changed it from foreign language film, which presumes that we're America first, to international film, best international film, without all the falderall about, at least not most of it, around are you mostly in a foreign language or what? And we've seen foreign language films win, like The Artist in 2020 or 2017, I think, with a French silent film. There are some players this year that could be contenders. There's one out of France from Richard Linklater that might get a little love for screenplays, Nouvelle Vague. That's on Netflix. There's another one down in Brazil getting a lot of attention in best pictures of the year lists and stuff like that. And I think that might get some
Alphabet is revealing how much it's paying for this. It's not, right? There's no monetary figure attached to this.
Oddly enough, as in so much of Hollywood, no numbers were announced. But you know
No,
what?
it's interesting. It's not the Super Bowl still, but at one point it was bigger than the Super Bowl. 40 years ago.
That was certainly better looking than the Super Bowl. Yeah. But yeah, you're absolutely right, though. You're right. 40 years ago, the Super Bowl wasn't that big. Wasn't that super, right?
And it's not going to be in broadcast in the United States anymore. It's leaving ABC and going to streaming.
No longer on broadcast.
Exclusively. That's a big deal. It is a little bit polarized in the age of Trump. It's a little bit smaller. It's eroded, but it's still a big audience. I think you told me that it was still around 20 million viewers for.
Yeah, nearly 20 million last year. And that was slightly up post COVID from the 3 or 4 years before. I mean, 2020, it got out before the lockdown hit. 2021 was, I think, held in a train in Union Station downtown, which was a little bit different. And, they could have just backed up a truck and handed them out like Meals on Wheels or something, because it was about that glamorous, because you couldn't really do anything. So it's had to come back, but none of this stuff is getting the audiences it used to get. The award shows, not just the Oscars, but all the rest of them. The Golden Globes are around 9 million, I think. And that kicks off the whole thing. SAG is now Netflix, I believe. So that's not the SAG Awards, which have been renamed, a really long acronym that's painful.
Well, that was the first that went all streaming. That was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. So, and because they just needed something. Critics' Choice, same thing. They were looking for a venue, and I think finally just stuck with something online because they had challenges finding a place to land. So it allows you to get to not quite as broad an audience in some ways on YouTube TV, but everybody's got access to YouTube if they got access to the internet. So there's that. And again, people in a lot of places that ABC does not go will have access to it. So that's a big change. It's really been quite a few weeks, though, for traditionalists in Hollywood. You got Disney doing the open AI Sora deal. Oh my God. You got Netflix trying to buy Warner Brothers, one of the oldest and most revered studios in Hollywood. And now you got this. And then on top of that, you got a president saying crummy things on social media about one of the most beloved Hollywood directors, Rob Reiner, killed horribly alongside his wife by a person who is believed to
So,
be
but the
their son.
president finally stepped over the line when Rob Schneider, star, what was it? I
Hot Tub
forgot what
Time Machine,
no, that
among
wasn't
so
that wasn't
much
his.
else.
It was another movie with a hot tub. Anyway, I digress. The president, with his very glib assessment of Reiner's murder, has finally stepped over the line of
Right.
indecency.
Well,
Uh,
I mean, he
I had
made a lot of films people like that, though he was very defiantly liberal. There were a whole lot of films he made that a whole lot of people from a lot of different political stripes enjoyed, including films like A Few Good Men, which I got to think is like on the top 10 list of a lot of folks from very conservative places. I'm
when you
just
put
throwing that
the
out there.
full body of his work up there, I don't know that you find a more impressive collection. It's staggering. I mean, I look at just something like Spinal Tap alone. You know, I saw that when I was 15 years old, and it blew up my entire thought of what comedy could be. I stood there looking at it. I was a kid. Is this real? And then, you know, the idea of satire suddenly was taught to me. And I mean, the guy was a true genius, and he seemed like a kind man. The fact that this could happen to him, that you could lose a family member in this way and lose your life this way, him and his dear wife, was staggeringly sad. And it would have been great to have national leadership to sort of put it in context and make it palatable the next day, but we didn't get that. We got the opposite. I think a lot of
We
people.
do not turn, I mean, Joe Biden was sort of good at that whole comforting people in pain and loss. That is not what you go to Daddy Don Trump for, because I don't think he got it much from his daddy, to be blunt about it. But we are going to continue to turn things up to 11. We will wrap this one up right here, though, and keep it nice and tight as we ponder what the Oscars will look like on YouTube in 3 short years. I suspect the 2026 one will be dominated by an in memoriam conversation about Rob Reiner's films and his work in the community and beyond. In the meantime, this is David Bloom with Next TMT and my partner, Daniel Frankel, here with you on behalf of Media Play News. We are delighted to be trying this new partnership out with them and look forward to more fun stuff. You can follow us on nexttmt.com and see this at Media Play News. This is David Bloom, over and out.